Hello, Wake Up New Zealand. Just a quick video to end the day. I've just been sent this resignation of Jacinda Ardern as New Zealand's Prime Minister. It's a petition that has got 3,558 signatures already. They're aiming for 5,000, so I asked you people to get on board. This petition says it's by Blair Jones. He started this, and it's gone to the Governor-General of New Zealand and two others. And it reads, "Enough is enough. The constant and blatant abuse of powers by the current Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, and her government has gone far too far. From false promises during election time to causing racial divide in our country, the current Prime Minister and her government are steering us all in a direction which is dangerous to our freedoms." This has been happening ever since the Christchurch mosque attack. The first group of New Zealanders to be on the Prime Minister and her government's hit list were law-abiding firearms owners, where blatant scapegoating and social divide was pushed to an unfair and malicious manner, which caused unnecessary tension for this group. Some would go as far as saying it was discrimination, and it definitely was. I've seen political discrimination. Now, that political discrimination I'm talking about is when Lee Williams's street was cut off by armed political police, and they invaded his home space only to ask him if he supported Trump. And that's what was happening in our country, where armed police went to a farm and a young girl was actually picking up horse poo with a fork, and police aimed their firearms at her. And this is how bad it's been. So here we go. Fast forward to this petition. Fast forward COVID, the previous election, and numerous law changes, proposals, life in New Zealand hasn't got any better, especially after what was promised to us. No promises. I mean, the public housing list. It's more than doubled since Ardern has taken office as Prime Minister 3.5 years ago. Suicides have gone up, particularly with farmers, significantly so since all these legislations and restrictions to put a stranglehold on them to get them off their farms. So what's instead happened? And this is what they say: more taxes, a bunch of laws, may I add draconian laws, and tyranny that take away freedoms of speech, and now a restructure of government healthcare that gives racial privilege. And it sure does. We're talking about separatism. We're talking about divide. We're talking about co-governance. Any public discussion is not had. We're not living in a democracy in New Zealand. And we're not happy about this. And we don't like what is happening, having our freedoms lost. So what this says is we're not happy to just let this Prime Minister and her government make all our decisions with no open debates or communication. No, there isn't. It's increased censorship, increased CCTV cameras, and increased targeting of certain people who politically oppose the narrative. Even at peaceful rallies, one that I went to the last time at the museum, Secret Service were there, and also two police officers, and we were being watched. And this has happened time and time again at peaceful rallies, and they're peaceful rallies. We've had CCTV cameras increased, etc., etc. And I even had police phone me up and ask me why I was at this rally. My answer was because I knew if I went to Heritage Square, there would be a good rally. And that's what I'd say. So I know that the police are asking people, what is that person's behaviour like? Are they violent, etc., etc., trying to find out things to character assassinate law-abiding citizens that oppose the political narrative. So this goes on to say this petition, the amount of rushed laws and changes that this Prime Minister and her government have pushed through during the state of fear from COVID is truly alarming and worrying to say the least. But I fear the worst is still to come. Me too. I do. A slow and gradual permanent change is always easier to carry on than a quick and forced one. Yes, it's like the frog that's put in the cold water and then slowly it's boiled, and before too long, it's too late. And that's what's happening now. So this says, think about the bigger picture here. Look at what's been done in the last couple of years and gain awareness as to what direction we are being taken into in this country. Let's do something about it. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for this petition, Blair Jones. I have signed it and I urge you all to sign it. And I just want you to think about this. If Jacinda Ardern can bring in, introduce into New Zealand, the worst, cruelest, evilest abortion laws in the world, then what is she capable of doing next? Now, that abortion law, where an unborn baby up to the time of birth can be aborted, where there is legal sex selection, where a failed abortion, a baby is born and it can be left to die on the hospital table with no medication, no painkiller. Unborn babies with cleft lips can legally be aborted up to birth. With a club foot can legally be aborted up to birth. Not only that, we now have an assisted suicide, euthanasia law that's about to be enforced in October this year that was passed, which has very dangerous concepts. And it came about through Parliament, where politicians in the House voted on conscience. The conscience that missed the facts. Some deliberately missed the facts, that it actually put people in harm's way, where coercion could happen, where doctors do not know what goes on behind closed doors, where even people themselves don't know if they're being subtly manipulated. We have age concern that documents increased neglect and abuse of the elderly, mostly by family members. I am sure many elderly people, if they're in that situation and they're unwell, they just want to get out of here. And that's what it's about. It's not about, can I increase your painkiller to make it more comfortable? These doctors don't even know whether these people are taking their painkillers, because this bill says that the person to actually have this injection to take away their life prematurely must be shown, or to say to them, the doctors, that they are suffering intolerable pain. Well, pain is different for different people. So it's the whole manipulation. For a few, it may be okay, but for the majority, if it risks 10, 20 lives taken because of coercion, then it should never be there. The facts are failing. When they say this is a good bill and it serves the people, It's a legal fiction. It's got very dangerous concepts. So people, please share, share, and share. And please sign this. It's on, I have put it on my page on Facebook. And yes, you can find it on there. And Blair Jones is the one who started it. And here it is here. So please sign it. And let's help Blair along, and also let's help ourselves, shall we? How much longer do you want this to go on for? Ask yourself, is this what you want for your children? Is this what you want for the future of your children? Because sure as hell I don't. It'd have to be insanity. So please wake up, New Zealand. Share, share, share.